single fiber, no more than a millimeter in length, was all that connected a suspect to the crime scene. Found in an inconspicuous location, this microscopic piece of evidence was the key to unlocking the truth behind a cold case that had puzzled investigators for years. On the evening of July 12, 2015, the body of Sarah Thompson, a 28-year-old woman, was discovered in her apartment in downtown Chicago. Thompson was found lying face down on her bedroom floor, with severe blunt force trauma to the head and neck. Initial reports indicated that the cause of death was likely a fall or an accidental injury, but the lack of any signs of a struggle or forced entry initially led investigators to believe the death might have been an accident. Upon entering the apartment, investigators noted that the scene was meticulously clean, with no signs of a break-in. The front door was locked, and the windows were intact. The body was positioned near the bedroom door, suggesting Thompson had been in her room at the time of her death. The bedroom was in disarray, with clothing and personal items scattered about. However, the majority of the apartment was untouched, which was unusual for a scene with such a violent outcome. The carpet and floor tiles in the bedroom were heavily stained with blood, consistent with multiple impacts to the head and neck. A small amount of blood was also found on the bedroom doorknob, indicating contact with the victim's bloodied hands. No signs of defensive wounds were present on Thompson's body, further complicating the initial assessment of the crime scene. Forensic technicians meticulously collected blood samples, hair, fibers, and other trace evidence from the scene, including several strands of fabric found in the carpet fibers. The investigation began with a comprehensive review of Thompson's personal life, including her relationships and potential enemies. The apartment was thoroughly searched for any digital evidence, such as emails or text messages that might indicate a motive. However, the digital forensics team found no conclusive evidence of a threat or plan to harm Thompson. Toxicology tests revealed no signs of drug use or poisoning, ruling out accidental death due to substance abuse. The trace evidence collected from the scene was sent to the state crime lab for analysis. Forensic scientists focused on the blood spatter patterns, which suggested that Thompson had been struck multiple times from various angles. The blood spatter patterns indicated that the perpetrator had been in close proximity to the victim during the assault, but the lack of any additional evidence made it difficult to pinpoint the weapon or the exact number of blows. Entomological studies were also conducted to determine the time of death. The presence of blowflies and their life cycle stages suggested that Thompson had been dead for several hours before the body was discovered. This timeline, combined with the lack of external signs of a struggle, led investigators to focus on the possibility of an inside job or a perpetrator with intimate knowledge of Thompson's habits. The breakthrough came when a microscopic fiber found in the carpet near the body was analyzed. This single strand of fabric, no more than a millimeter in length, matched the upholstery of a specific brand of car seat. The fiber was compared against a database of materials from local car dealerships, and a match was found with the upholstery in the victim's own vehicle. Further investigation revealed that the fiber had been transferred to the carpet when Thompson leaned against the car door before entering her apartment. This discovery led investigators to re-examine Thompson's vehicle, where they found a small amount of blood on the passenger seat, consistent with the victim's blood type. The DNA analysis confirmed that the blood on the seat belonged to Thompson, establishing a clear link between the vehicle and the crime scene. This evidence, combined with the fiber analysis, provided the crucial connection that the perpetrator had been in the victim's vehicle shortly before the assault. Based on this evidence, the investigation shifted to identifying individuals who had access to Thompson's vehicle or had a reason to be in her apartment. Surveillance footage from a nearby business showed a man leaving Thompson's vehicle shortly before her death. This man was identified as her ex-boyfriend, Mark Johnson, who had a history of domestic disputes with Thompson. Johnson was arrested and charged with the murder of Sarah Thompson. During his interrogation, he initially denied any involvement, but eventually broke down and confessed to the crime. He admitted to having a violent confrontation with Thompson after she ended their relationship, resulting in her death. The forensic evidence, particularly the fiber and blood spatter analysis, provided the critical proof needed to secure a conviction. Johnson was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This case underscores the critical role of trace evidence in solving complex crimes. A single fiber, overlooked by many, became the key that unlocked the truth behind a seemingly unsolvable mystery. The meticulous nature of forensic science, even in its smallest details, continues to demonstrate its indispensable value in criminal investigations.